should rest up. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
नाइट मोड जागो बेटा.
So after working a few days straight, we got some strange meat in our lunch. What was that all about? Has our investigation turned up anything useful recently? Really? Then it looks like that part of the investigation has hit a dead end. Well, we'll keep searching for more clues tomorrow. Good night, traveler. Maybe we can make some progress in our investigation today. What do you have planned for us? After working here so long, we're really starting to get the hang of it. But doing the same thing Yeah, it's good.
इसी जेल में बाबा पानी लीक हो रहा है उसमें. जस्ट आ तो रहे हैं पर कहाँ?
What is this garbage? Ooh, it looks disgusting. What would you like to do this? Knowing child, he must have been there.
Oh, back for another try? All right.
ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या था इसमें? अच्छा हुआ.
Okay, do your best to hit the targets just like common
लेफ्ट
sense.
राइट सेंटर. राइट सेंटर लेफ्ट. लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर. राइट लेफ्ट सेंटर.
Your strength really shouldn't be underestimated. Now I get why you're prohibited from participating in any official fights. Nobody who values their life would be willing to get in the ring with you. However, you two haven't tried betting on the outcome of the Pancration match yet, have you? Just go talk to Rusimov. Buy a ticket for whichever fighter you think will win. There's a big payout if the fighter you support comes out on top.
But we don't know anything about the fighters. How can we possibly know who to support?
That's normal. Just watch a few matches and get a feel for the fighters. It won't be long before you can pick winners in your sleep.
He's got a point. Why don't we give it a try? If we have enough coupons, we could probably bet at random until we figure everything out.
Bet at random, huh? Well, how should I put it? It's not like you can't do that, but...
Huh? We shouldn't get too carried away. What's the...
What? I never even picked a boxer before, and you already know about the rules? You're not just strong fighters. Seems you're pretty perceptive, too. Might as well tell you about it, since you already know that much. Plus, I think you've got the potential to be one of my greatest customers. I think I can let you in a bid. Besides, I don't want to risk ever losing a customer like you.
Is it that serious?
Okay. The hidden rule here is, if you buy both boxers' tickets and support them both, something bad will happen the next morning.
So the rule is that we shouldn't pick both boxers in the same fight. But if anyone actually did that, wouldn't they be guaranteed to lose coupons? Who would do that anyway? And what do you mean by something bad will happen?
How would I know? Not like I'm stupid enough to do that. But I've heard a story about the rule. According to the rumor, There was a masked boxer who possessed incredible skill and power. None of his opponents, however, and after that, in his eyes,
So you
blah
mean
blah blah खत्म
it's like-
करो रे
no, he was always...
Traveler, do you think that boxer was... Huh?
You're not serious. Look, here I was...
Yeah, it sounds pretty scary to Paimon.
betting on both
Hello,
fighters with
Manish
such
bhai,
a bet
welcome to
about
stream.
3,000...
कल तो अपने लग इसमें आसमान फाड़ दिया भाई। हमको एक किताब मिली जो हमें चाहिए थी और काफ़ी जल्दी मिल गई।
Aw, looks like we won't get a chance to sleep in as long as... Oh, Paimon doesn't want to get up. What do you have planned for us?
क्या करना है? ये वाला है 3 से तो हो गया।
After working here so, but doing the same... Yeah,
किताब दिखा दूँ तेरे को, झपाट किताब है एकदम।
Whoa! Isn't this the super lucky meal? Looks like hard work. Paimon's gonna take her time and savor it. What would you like to do?
क्रेडिट
Maybe
के
we'll be
नाम का
able to
लगेगा।
find some...
2000 पॉइंट की चपत लग गई भाई
Are you
साहब।
two here to buy tickets? Better be quick about it. Another match is about to
Who are the boxers and...
We have the reigning champ, Legrapo, versus a contender from the Eastern Prison Block, Demon.
Are those their nicknames, or did they choose...
Since you're new around here, I'll help you. Anyway, this match, I reckon... maybe you don't quite
Oh,
Alright.
yeah.
और ड्रॉ हो गया तो क्या करेंगे भाई?
We will go...
Hey, traveler, Paimon. Package here for you. The next time you buy something, go pick it up yourself.
Huh? A package? For us? Did you buy something, Traveler?
Amazon की डिलीवरी।
Paimon's not quite awake yet, so why don't you go take a look? Oh, right! Yesterday we broke the hidden rule and bought tickets for both boxers. Oh, maybe this... Paimon suddenly feels wide awake. Wait, maybe let Paimon go hide somewhere first. Just call Paimon after you open it. Hey, wait! Paimon's still here! Don't open it! Huh? Oh,
कुछ भेजा
it's
अपने को।
just a small bottle. But
रूह
the
अफ़ज़ा
color
भेजा
of the
अपने को
liquid
रूह अफ़ज़ा।
inside looks so wrong. Almost like... Alright, that's enough of that. No need to say it out loud. Paimon already knows what you're trying to say. Ugh, no way. Get that stuff away from Paimon. Paimon thinks we shouldn't open the bottle until we figured out what's going on. Just trust Paimon on this one, okay? What do you have planned for us? Though it feels nice...
किताब दिखाने वाला था मैं। तो ये रही देवी और सज्जनों किताब। मिल गया अपने को उसका वेपन भी। काफ़ी सस्ते में निपटे अपन इस बार वैसे। स्टाफ ऑफ होमा के लिए ट्राई करेंगे अपन। वैसे कितने उसमें निकला था ये इतना इधर 40-20 के अंदर निकल गया वैसे। ठीक है, अब बढ़ाना पड़ेगा अपना कुछ। स्टेज ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? ट्राई टू मूव आउट। हाइस्ट वाला मेरा काम नहीं कर रहा, ये क्या बात है?
There's no way to...
Who are you? We've never seen you before, and you don't look like a fellow convict.
I'm not! Of course I'm not. Please, don't mistake me for a criminal. I'm a good, law-abiding citizen.
Then what are you doing here? You sure seem anxious about something.
I'm a promoter for Fontaine, and I'm usually responsible for promoting our drink products. I thought I could complete my task here quickly and return to headquarters, but I've been here way longer than I anticipated.
Oh, a promoter from Fontico? So what kind of problem did you run into?
I'm so upset. It's all because of that Duke. After discussing the company's promotional plans with him, he told me outright that my project was worthless. However, in light of our long history of successful collaboration, I still tried to patiently explain the details. However, to my surprise, he just cut me off while I was speaking. Let me take a moment and recall his exact words. I'm just gonna stop you there and say no. If anything, I'm saving you time. It seems you don't fully understand the value of credit coupons here, nor do you understand the value of your own products. The former is because you are from the overworld. That's understandable, and I don't blame you for that. But as for the latter, only someone monumentally stupid, so breathtakingly stupid, that they were completely ignorant of the value of credit coupons, despite living in the underworld, would ever possibly consider buying your drink. Let's just forget it. Anyway, that's how he rejected my proposal and asked me to come up with another solution with the condition that it doesn't cause any trouble for him. Can you believe that guy?
Well, he is the head honcho here. Not much you can do about that. We met him too and could tell that he's the kind of guy that's hard to pin down.
Fine. I should just let it go. I'm on his turf, after all. His house, his rules.
हमको चाहिए क्या, हमको मिल क्या रहा है? बोल सो गया वैसे जवाब नहीं दे रहा।
Hey, I heard you crazy fools really did it. You bought tickets to support both fighters, didn't ya? Well, did anything happen?
Well, the next day we received a mysterious package, but we still haven't made any sense of the contents.
So it is real. You didn't become cursed or anything like that, did ya? Are you both still okay? Wait. Are you sure that it's still you controlling your bodies right now?
Paimon's not sure. What do you think, Traveler? Is Paimon still Paimon? Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, you two don't seem to have changed at all. But I wouldn't let your guard down just yet. Still, I didn't expect you would actually do it. You could actually throw away coupons like that just to satisfy your curiosity?
Even if we bought tickets like everybody else, it's not like we could hope to earn any coupons. When it comes to things like this, it's always the organizer who makes the real profits.
Hey, just what are you trying to imply? The Pancration Ring is an honest business, and we really don't make much from selling tickets. We make so little that even the current tournaments can only be held thanks to funding from the producer of Fanta.
Oh, so it's the company that manufactures Fanta sponsoring the events? I thought all of this was thanks to the Duke's support.
Let's just say it's a mutually beneficial arrangement. They reached out to us first, hoping to promote Fanta products in the Fortress of Meropide. Anyway, you try and take extra good care of yourselves these next few days, you hear?
कितना क्या क्या मिल रहा अपने को एक और बच्चा है
Hey, what are these papers scattered all over the ground? Are they registration forms or something? Maybe not. Every page has the font. Okay. Oh, you're right. Guess there's nothing to worry about then. Let Paimon have a look here. Without assistance from the Fontaine Research Institute, we have no choice but to let the new product undergo the first phase of promotional trials. Without, we have decided. Sure doesn't seem like. Let's put these papers back. Working here, so but doing this. Yeah. A mysterious box. Do you have any ideas, Traveler? Really? Well. Okay, so we've investigated 2 of the hidden rules. I didn't think this prison would have so many weird things going on. We better pick up the pace with our investigation, otherwise we'll never get anywhere. Yeah, let's skip work for now and put our time to good use. Hey, isn't that Vidoc over there?
Seeing you at this time must mean you've already saved up a lot of credit coupons. Or at least enough to skip work. Impressive. Very impressive.
So, now can you tell us about the hidden rules you know?
If that's what you want to know, I guess you couldn't have come in a better time.
Huh? What do you mean it's a good time?
Leonid and those other pesky broke urchins have all gone to work in the production zone. I wouldn't want them listening in without paying up.
We get it, just tell us already.
So, you know those pipes that make strange sounds? Don't ever, ever go near them at night. Even if you manage to avoid the guards, you might find something even more terrible there.
Something even more terrible? Like what?
A group of cannibals.
Cannibals? In the fortress of Neuvillette?
Every month, they meet a few times in the dead of night. Rumor has that they might be connected to the people that have disappeared here. But what's even scarier is that they have a special proclivity. Since they have no way to dispose of the leftover remains, they have ways to transform them into other forms and keep them in the fortress forever.
Paimon might already know what you mean by other forms. So that's what's going on here. Oh, Paimon's stomach doesn't feel so good.
You two look pretty skeptical. No matter. Learning the truth behind dark secrets isn't necessarily a good thing. I've got things to do too. I suggest you just act like I never told you anything.
Traveler, can we just trust him on this one? Oh, Paimon doesn't want her blood and flesh entombed here for all eternity? Oh, so that's how you see the situation. Huh. You know, Paimon does feel a little better about it now. Oh, when will all the secrets end? Vidok isn't here. But the guys who went to work in the morning are back. Let's go ask them.
What? What are you talking about?
Just stay away.
इतनी फट रही है बेचारों.
Their attitude sure is suspicious. Like they're trying to avoid us. But if they're being... Oh, this is all getting way too creepy for Paimon. So you mean we still need to investigate...
क्या नाम है
What do you
फिल्म?
want? Criminals like you ought to be
We just want to ask you a simple... Have you ever discovered anything odd during your nighttime patrols?
Why are you asking about something like that? Whatever happens at night isn't your concern. All you need to worry about is getting enough sleep.
Well... Right! We've heard it happens a few times every month.
Really? I see. But it's not like I'm on duty every night. And now that you mention it, I recall my colleagues talking about something like that before. They say that strange things tend to happen at night on pipe cleaning days. Lots of us don't willingly take those shifts.
So, what happens at night on pipe?
They just conduct regular cleaning of the fortress's drink. There are 3 pipe cleaning days per month. It just so happens that today is one of the scheduled days.
Oh, Okay, then we'll keep both ears out tonight.
If that's all, then I'll be leaving now. I advise you not to try anything funny, though. Even if I'm not on duty.
Don't worry, we don't want any time added to our sentences. Oh, he left. So what do you think about the pipe cleaning days he met? Right, both are a possibility. I knew you would say... I'm so tired. But we can't sleep yet. They'll be cleaning the pipes tonight, so it's the perfect chance for us to investigate. What? Huh? Traveler? Did you fall asleep already?
फिर से हमें विजन ने बुलाया. स्टोरी काफी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होती जा रही है.
Careful! We'll get in trouble if the guards catch us.
We saw.
Huh. You've got guts showing up here. You know who we are, right?
You'd better leave now. Ain't nobody coming here to save you.
What you say? Yeah, so
Hey, what's the...
I don't have to tell you anything. If you turn...
Yeah, scram. Nothing worth seeing here. Huh?
Isn't that exactly what boss said when he left?
Hey, do you know our boss? Oh, we had no idea our boss was such a big deal. He always kept his identity a secret. So, did he have you come here to find us?
Oh, so your child's crew here? Seems like he had no problem fitting in.
We're the only ones who heard him say those words when he left that night. So, unless he somehow told you those exact same words after that... All right. I guess that's
Wow! Those dreams of yours sure come in...
We gave him the business for a while and always give him a hard time when he first... But here in the fortress, Strong will always earn respect because working the long, you can always see it. So eventually,
रुक जा दिखाता हूँ
He
किताब
suddenly
में।
told it as his crew. So, he just wanted to.
Oh, but
Because as far it leads to but boss, so we told and that if he wanted
so you
yeah.
Nothing could ever.
okay. Paimon was just brainstorming possibilities.
All right. Keep quiet and follow us.
ये रहे हमारे चचा, हमें चाहिए थी ये वाली बुक। मिल गई अपने को ये वाली बुक। पीछे क्या पड़ा हुआ है?
the way up from here has been sealed off. It's impossible to get through. Boss left by going down from here. It wasn't full of water at the time. Later, we came back hoping to have a look. That's when we found out it had been completely flooded. It's impossible to navigate unless you're an extremely skilled diver.
Do you think Child got trapped by the water?
Not likely. We all know that Boss was an incredible swimmer.
Really? Then have him come investigate. Pronto. Just be sure to tell us if you get any news about Boss.
It's getting late. We should leave before the guards come this way.
Yeah, we learned a lot about...
इन्वेस्टिगेशन काफी लंबी चल रही है भाई।
We finally learned some key... When you said you... Fortunately, now that we can...
Quest complete.
It's morning already. Oh, Paimon still needs more sleep. Huh? Wait, look over there. It's one of Liddy's guards. On Paimon's... Maybe you have... It's been a while... Ooh, today's our lucky day. We have the date from the sound of it.
Act 4 चालू हो गया, चलो।
Look, there are some people talking over there.
If you ask me, those pompous parasites on the surface act like they're all a bunch of aristocrats. Do any of them give half a...
Hey, speak for yourself.
Oh, you think you're...
I don't...
Hey, how cool would it be if the whole world was destroyed by a giant flood and everyone had to start over from...
What kind of filthy bilgewater are you spewing? I have family up there. You best shut your sewer hole and listen. Things... Who wants to live in the ruddy over...
And what makes you think that...
Whoa. Sounds like they're really Speaking of which, I've never heard anyone use the words overworld or underworld when we were living up there. Is that only something the inmates down here? That's true. There's a group of people over there.
So I said, that's...
Sorry for eavesdropping. Sounds like you...
what's the matter? They're just looking and enjoying it.
Hey, don't pretend like it's okay for them to just interrupt us like that. Your expressions tell me you're looking to hear some
Really? Are we that big?
You kidding? How often does anyone get a personal tour led by His Grace himself? Practically everyone was talking about it. Word has it that you also caused quite the kerfuffle.
A little mistake, huh? I like the way you put it. You see, people with a good attitude can join our group anytime. Unlike some of the others here.
Your group.
I'm Quisto, and this is Lava.
So,
No. You don't get it. Knowing intelligence will make things. Whoa.
I don't mind him. Quiz the welfare meals. Talk about the welfare meals.
right.
Is that
Oh,
you? Oh, since you like my. Listen, kids. You've already met the.
Those who have.
I know who you mean.
But did you know?
I don't care if he was a reason. Speaking of which,
You mean he hit a woman?
but that Lord Vian's. Wait a second. Do you think it could have?
After all,
Hey, you over there? Yeah, you. Say, do you like playing card games? You know, like Genius Invocation TCG?
you TCG players are like mint in the wild. Literally sprouting up everywhere.
Hey, come on now. What's wrong with finding fellow Invocation aficionados? All right. Nope.
But why would you be looking for people to play Genius Invocation in a place like...
Whether you're throwing down cards, there are lots of card players here in the fortress. When I saw you, I immediately thought, hey, even outsiders from other nations play cards. So I came over to Sure.
Great! Since...
I thought you would have already heard.
Why don't you...
All right. Have you heard it? Then did you? Yes, you've already met those. I heard that the.
Good to know.
बे हाइस्ट का
Let me
आंसर क्यों
think.
नहीं आ रहा है मेरे को
Sounds
दिखाई
like
नहीं
you want to
रहा
hear something a little more tantalizing.
गेम बार में लग रहा है भाई मेरे लग गया यार
Oh, did you know that the Duke was also a convict in the fortress of Meripede before?
ए जीत गया लड़का गेम बाल
Wait, are you serious?
That's right. The Duke was an inmate just like you and me. Seems he was exiled here for committing some crime. Who knows how he ended up rising up to become the warden, though. To go from an ordinary inmate to becoming the manager of the whole place?
हमारी लग गई
I'm not gonna lie, I kinda respect that. The Forbidden Zone?
It's just a rumor we've been hearing, but no worries if you've never heard of it. Do you have anything else you can tell us?
Anything else? Not that I can think of, but I'll be sure to tell you anything interesting I hear next time. You'll have to play a game of Genius Invocation with me first, though.
Okay, we've talked to just about everyone, and it's about time for us to go meet Linny.
सबके पन में तो क्या ही फड़फड़ा रहे थे भाई
Huh? That look in your eyes. You found something?
Hey, this is no time to be modest. Just tell him we found a boatload of information.
As expected of the legendary duo, you have my full and undivided attention. I'd have never guessed that myself. The rumors swirling about this place are unreliable after all, and Master Child probably went missing because he found a way out. He is a harbinger after all. I suppose he's much more resourceful than I initially gave him credit for. Unfortunately, this isn't enough for our final report to Father. We need to find out Master Child's exact whereabouts. Father told me that even though Master Child said he was just coming to Fontaine for a vacation, he actually had some personal reasons. His agenda might be linked to his disappearance.
His escape route is already flooded, so we'll have to test someone with professional diving skills to chase after him.
Well, when you put it that way, it's obvious that only Fremine would be up to the task.
Bingo! Is he around?
He's working today. Coming here as a group would have attracted too much attention. I'll talk to him about it later. It's the least I can do. We're all in this together, so it's only fair for us to fulfill our end of the bargain. Honestly, I'm far more impressed by you guys managing to collect all this information right under Risley's watchful eyes.
Collecting information has always been our strong point.
बात तो सही है.
Now, let me think. To find out more information, Fremine will have to retrace Master Child's original route. And if he's to do that, he'll have to set out on the next pipe cleaning day at the earliest. That's 6 days from now. And after that, he'll probably take another 2 or 3 days to return.
You can even estimate how long it'll take for him to get back?
We've been working together for a long time. We know each other's capabilities like the backs of our hands. Traveler, what say you to meeting here 9 days from now? We'll be able to pick up Fremine while we're at it, too. Oh, and there's just one last thing we'd like your help with. Though we can just sit back and wait for Fremine's report on Master Child's whereabouts, we still need to make more progress on the investigation of the Forbidden Zone. Fremine's no master of disguise. Lynette's still working on getting intel from the other areas, and I'll need to spend some time helping Fremine prepare for his diving mission. So, you are the...
What do you want us to do?
Well, I won't call it easy per se, but I think you'll be able to listen carefully. You'll need to find an excuse to get into the infirmary and investigate the room and environs. You've mentioned several sketchy-looking... Investigate the internal structure, but also there's no need to take risks. Don't forget. Oh, my apologies. I just started rambling.
But that's not a bad thing, right? All right, then we'll head out as soon as we finish our...
Let's go our separate ways for now, then. Don't forget, we meet here again in 9 days.
Hey, stay here for now. There seem to be several people. It's a bit hard to understand them. Someone! Please help! He's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
Oh my! What's wrong, little one? There's no need to panic. Take a deep breath. The traveler started complaining of a stomachache, and then nausea, and then collapsed onto the ground. Freezing limbs, twitching fingers, and pale complexion. Let me take a look. Please. Don't worry. I'll get you to the bed safely. Here, hold on to my shoulder and walk slowly. You can do it, traveler. Don't apologize. You're sick after all. Now, please relax. I'm just going to do a preliminary checkup on you. My checkup has confirmed that he's not in any mortal danger. That's our worst... Oh, that'll continue my diagnosis of the patient now. Don't sense serious damage. And here? Huh? But based on my initial checkup, there shouldn't be a problem here. What about here? Oh, I think you just ate something that disagreed with you. That's all. Nothing too serious. Outside. Congratulations. The health risk is incredible. Miss Levine, I'll have to trouble you.
Very well.
stomach aches really...
If Miss Sijuin says it's not a serious...
But it also looks like she's the only...
Well...
What do you mean that's true? That's really misrepresenting the situation. Of course I can't speak for the whole fortress, but it's not like everyone imprisoned here is useless, you know? Though they may have committed crimes and gotten locked up here as a result, they still know a thing or two about medicine, and they help Miss Sijuin take care of the sick and injured.
Yeah, you're right. But did you have to lecture me about it in front of another patient? Aren't you a patient too? Where did all your energy come from?
That's correct. Sorry, I got a bit ahead of myself.
Are you two also sick?
We've been sick a while. I come back every once in a while for checkups, and to pick up the medicines Miss Sijuin prescribes for us. That's just the nature of chronic illnesses. As for her... You could say she fancies herself as Miss Sijuin's capable helper because she learned a bit of medical knowledge ages ago.
Please watch your mouth, Mr. Jurier.
Hey, don't start arguing now, please.
Please allow me to end this book.
And same to you, Miss Lorvine. Anyway, that was more than enough rest for me, so I'm going to get out of this excessively noisy...
He just slowly walked off? Like that?
I'm sorry you had to see all of that. I'll accompany you two for a walk. No.
I'm back! Did you rest like you promised?
Thank you for getting our medicine.
Did you all cooperate with your bed rest? I trust that nobody got up to walk around. Good. Here. Miss Lorvine. Hello.
All right, then I'll also be on my way now. I hope you...
See ya! I'm going to fill out your medical record now. Those two made quite the commotion just now, so why don't... All right then. Is there anything we... No, his face... Got it. Oh, you're going to take a nap already? We've been to lots of places together. He may look a bit under the weather now, but he's actually super strong. So you're the best of companions. Don't... You're awake. How do you feel? You slept for a really long time, but we never left. Well, now you can go back with us. Thank you, Miss Sijuin.
बोर हो रहा हूँ ना
Be able to fall
ये
asleep like that and even sleep talk the entire time? You scared Paimon half to death! No, but you kept mumbling things along the lines of, Paimon, go take my grilled fish and put down the Adeptus Temptation now! Paimon talked with Sijuin the entire time you were asleep. She seems like she's just as...
थका दिया रे इनने तो भाई, कैसा ही सोने ही आ गए। कुछ दिखाओ यार मार धाड़ स्टोरी। Information gathering
Did
होगी
you two run
कोच्चे
into
में।
any trouble over the past few days?
No, we just worked our...
We've taken a look.
Wait, what?
You already went above and beyond, infiltrating it. Lynette also.
So that's what Lynette thinks. Oh, Paimon hopes everything's...
You've mentioned.
Well?
Since I see, glad to hear. Then.
Is now really a...
According to my observation. Also, I.
Okay, then...
Lynette should be here right now. Oh, strange.
As expected, Sijwin isn't here, but why isn't Lynette here?
No, Lynette rarely unless.
Let's see if there are any...
Okay.
There are some books here and a few files. These sure are some interesting... She even had...
None of the beds have any signs of having been slept in.
That's the one Lynette must have used, right?
She would have said her migraine was having a particularly bad... Which means either the head nurse didn't return the entire time from when Lynette laid down up until she left the bed, or the nurse...
This is it! We saw it!
Wait, this thing? It doesn't look like it... The space behind it is empty. From its side, could Lynette have tried to get inside? Let's look around here for some more clues.
Hey, you guys, there's a slip of...
A slip of paper.
It's right over here, and there's a bunch written on it too. It reads, out of respect for your usual practices, I'll use a piece of paper or card as the medium to pass on my message. You may consider...
This is...
Is that all? The back.
Show me! Now!
That look on your face. Would you care to guess where Miss Lynette of the Fatui could be right now? No. Could she...
Writhsley. Did he deliberately leave the infirmary unguarded to use it as bait?
Wait, you mean he was aware of our goals from the very beginning? But why? We didn't run into any trouble last time, and he all...
Yes, that is a crucial question. Writhsley, he doesn't do anything without a clear goal or reason. You are not from the same camp as us. You were sent down here by Neuvillette, so you have no conflict of interest with Writhsley. We're a completely different story, though. I'd like to know that, too. Why did he only go... Don't panic, just think everything over.
परेशान हो गया बेचारा।
Wait, you're right. Wait, but that means the fact that Fremine was able to leave the grounds. Could Writhsley have let him go as well?
What does he gain by letting Fremine leave
So he's challenging me and trying to provoke... We never should have sent out Fremine. If Writhsley let him leave on purpose, then he's probably...
Lenny's getting more and more panicked. Don't be like this, Lenny.
No, I'm the leader of this operation.
Hey, don't be reckless! Traveler...
I simply cannot allow Lynn... I have to go.
He's rushed out the door! After him!
Right. I feel like we still have some room to make changes on these details.
It's not impossible, but it'll require extensive testing.
Is that so? Huh? Someone? Pack everything up. Whoever's outside is eavesdropping. They'll probably come in once we stop talking. Someone! Please help! He's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
These two. As expect, what a delightful turn of events. I like smart people, but I also like playing dumb. Oh my! What's wrong, little one? Being able to read human expressions is quite... Wait! It's no use, we have to catch up to him! He's already out of sight! How is he so fast? Let's go head him off at Risley's office!
Come out and face me!
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow even a couple rules from the fortress's in...
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided to invite her over for a cup of tea. I do have some teas in my collection that can work wonders against such an illness.
Stop joking around! Where did you take my sibling?
I have also heard that your performance... Maybe she'll appear behind you right now if you were to turn your head.
Is he trying to trick me into turning my... You knew we were investigating the... As for Fremine... No.
There was no need to do so. The Fortress of Meripede is a pretty pleasant place. Most people...
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate. Fremine has also fallen into your hands, right? If you're
One correction. Lynette is in my hands right now.
He's not. What do you...
Winnie!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this once. Meager and to the point, I see. Alas, only Miss Lynette is currently having a cup of the fort. Although, as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have returned to the fortress by now. But he has neither shown up within my gates, nor has he been taken into any kind of custody. So, where do you think he may be?
Wait, you can't mean you locked him outside in the sea?
I closed the fortress's gate to the outside world. That's all.
Fremine's a star diver, so he should be fine, right?
No, we're still here, so he definitely tried to find a way to come back for us. So we can't assume he might have made a break for the surface.
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. My intel tells me that Mr. Linney is a great magician, so it's only natural for me to want... Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with the Lord of the Fortress of Meripede, regardless of whether it was...
So, you've been keeping...
Some of my folks just happened to hear a thing or two, that's all. I was willing to play dumb and turn a blind eye, so we had a pleasant few days playing games together here. But once you started focusing on the Forbidden Zone, all of that changed. Mr. Linney, the cards are stacked against you right now. Miss Lynette is in my hands, and Mr. Fremine is still slowly being pickled out there in the brine. You know just as well as I that you need do but one thing to guarantee their safety. I would like you to contact your superior.
You want to see Father? But why should she bother giving you an audience?
Well, if she cares for the well-being of her dearest children, I've heard that the bonds between the members of the House of the Hearth are like the
Why did you think Father sent us to handle the Fortress of Meripede? This place is basically a no-man's...
Oh, I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here.
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father?
You people really are difficult to get along with. Mr. Linney, you have one last chance to invite your father here.
Winnie!
Instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my perspective for a second?
From the very beginning, the Fatui has been actively infiltrating my fortress. I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had you given up on the fortress then and there, I'd have no reason to want to talk. Mr. Fremenet left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out my secrets right in front of me. No matter how you look at it, the responsibility for this falls on you.
I shouldn't ask Father to...
6.
Wait,
2. Time's up.
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please leave.
Yeah, listen to the Traveler. If you can't talk to Liddy, can you at least talk to us?
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? You are here helping him out, and I've already done my best to stay out of your way. But that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote. Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. You've spent quite some time investigating my home turf by now, so why don't you tell me a thing or two about what you found? I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them correctly, and I'll agree to your request. Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the truth behind the one about not being allowed to work for 3 days in a row?
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. We often see Miss Siegewin observe. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. The research notes said that the Melusine race perceives the world very differently from humans. As a result, according to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't
Let's see.
The Fonta promoter has been struggling The research notes said that the Melusine race perceives the world very differently. We often see Miss Siegewin.
So that's what's going on. Paimon understands it now. Who would have guessed? The hidden rule of the production zone. People are not supposed to work 3 days in a row, and if they... At first we thought this strange meat must have something to do... She often visits the production zone to observe the workers' health, and makes a note of anyone who has worn themselves out after 3 full days of work. Out of her sense of duty as the head nurse, as well as her genuine concern for the workers' health, Siegewin visits the cafeteria right before lunch, and cooks an extra dish for those who can use the stamina boost. Siegewin has only the best intentions with her surprise gift, and doesn't want anyone to find out about what she does. However, unfortunately, Melusines as a race perceive the world differently from humans, and their sense of aesthetics is even more alien to us. The recipients of her lovingly prepared special meals cannot taste the care within and usually just freak out. Are we on the right track?
Not bad. You've uncovered Siegewin's secret and even guessed her intentions correctly as well. It's nice to know that her efforts have not gone unacknowledged. All right, now for my next question. There are also some hidden rules in the Pancration ring, including the one that you're not allowed to support.
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for that. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed... We often see Miss Siegewin The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't The research notes said that the Melusine... According to Collins, the According to Collins, the
The Fonta promoter has been struggling because we often see Miss Siegewein. The research notes said that the Melusine race perceives the world. Fonta's internal reports suggest I've been told that the infirmary is always empty. The research notes said that the Melusine race perceives the world very... I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half... Fonta's internal reports suggest... I've been told that the infirmary is we often see Miss Siege. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because...
Paimon gets this rule too now! So that hidden rule of the Pancrate, people get scared with, but really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet-to-be-named a blood-red drink. It's no wonder the company facing backup, they came to the fortress of Meropide. The Duke, knowing how valiant, so...
I acknowledge the effort you've put into bringing the truth of this mystery to light. Although, based on your description, that Fonta promoter is a bit too careless with his words. I may just reconsider my collaboration with the company. Alright, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question! The thought is, you'll pay for this!
Lenny! Are you alright?
Oh, close one. I owe you, Siegewein. That was a fantastic shot.
It was nothing, Your Grace. Siegewein? Though this gun may look like a toy, it's actually fully functional.
Siegewein...
You... Not at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress, and when Monsieur Neuvillette asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of everyone here. But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Lenny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident here just like the rest of us? But I really am just doing what Monsieur Neuvillette told me to do. Everything I did, I've done to protect them. Had I not, they would be in far more dire straits right now. His Grace knows it too, right? Your Grace?
My dear Siegewein, whatever shall I do with you? Would it have killed you to just wait another minute or two?
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do that... What are you talking about?
Take me if you want.
How touching. Can you...
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm. I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss
You...
I believe I hear foot...
Some space, please.
Ah, Miss Clarande.
दरवाजे तोड़ दिए.
Lemonade.
What's going on? What is Clarande doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Lenny. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon. Please take it...
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like...
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have
What did you say?
Please, make some space. We'll need to give Mr. Fremine more...
I'll talk to Clarande while you get Fremine to where he needs to be.
चार्ली क्या रहा है एकदम से?
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way back.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few minutes later, Siegewein may have been forced to shoot Mr. Lenny again. How's the situation out there?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater has increased significantly. I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time... Well, you can see how that boy's doing.
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early on and tried desperately to swim back.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons. Never seems to work, though.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcomes were all terrible.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case to Neuvillette. Want some tea?
Particularly.
चाय
If you
वाला
want to
भाई
drink some
साहब
that badly, just say so.
Fine, I'd like to get some tea. Want me to get you a cup too, since I've already made it?
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would like to dry my hair.
चाय को कौन मना करता है भाई
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large amount of primordial seawater. Of course, it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Sorry. I am aware that the infirmary may not be your favorite.
Oh no. Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial seawater after...
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator.
Where is she? How is she right now?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be waking up right around now. You might not believe... Rinny, are you okay?
I'll be fine.
Are you sure?
My hands and feet are still a bit weak.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Fremine?
He'll be fine. But...
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
Yeah, I'll take him from this...
On it. Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us? The Duke and Clarande are gone. They probably went to get some tea. The Duke looks...
ये भी सही है
Could I tempt you?
No need.
चाय पे चर्चा हो रही है इधर पे अपन बाकी फटाफट काम निपटाते हैं टेलीपोर्ट रही था
He's awake.
We're all here.
The infirmary. How do you feel? Don't...
The sea. There's something wrong with the seawater. Shh, it's okay. No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there, but no one should touch it. Pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now.
स्टोरी बताओ. यहाँ से उतरे.
I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. Where could Master Child be?
फॉर्मेट से खेलना पड़ेगा. बेस अटैक वाली भी है. ओके.
This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? Stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it.
क्या सड़ी सी जगह फंसे हैं रे भाई। टाइम पे कूद भी नहीं सकते, बड़ी समस्या है। कुछ ना कुछ जरा सा सड़ा सा होगा कहीं पे। पहले उधर घुमा लेता, चूतिया गलती कर दे, यहीं से घुमा लो पहले। बोल रहा था ना कुछ सड़ा सा होगा।
This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Child probably dived into the water. Vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. I should be going in the right direction. There are traces here too. I need to keep going. The traces are gone, but I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait, what the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's going on? No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it.
बेहोश हो गया फिर।
here. I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child could have gone. But there was also no obvious place for him to have disappeared to.
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress, and I just couldn't find the strength to keep going. I probably passed out some time after that.
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to save you.
Miss Clarande, you say? I must...
You're still too weak, Fremine. Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss...
A guest? Then I can assume Risley was the one who invited her to come down here?
You should ask His Grace about that. Yep, yeah. It's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come...
No. Please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring myself to leave. Both...
Understood. In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to...
Thank you.
प्रीमोस खूब सारे लगेंगे भाई अपने को। एक आर्कॉन चाहिए रहेगी और अपनी एक क्लोराइड भी चाहिए रही। क्लोराइड बोल क्लोरीन जो भी है नाम। उनकी चाय पे चर्चा खत्म हुई कि नहीं?
Excuse me.
I take it Mr. Fremine's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Seedwing?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarande. How are you feeling?
Glorian,
I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam. It'll just take a few minutes.
All right. Thank you for looking out for me.
electro.
I'll take my leave for now then.
Well, want to explain yourself, Risley?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. How about enlighten? Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
And Paimon will begin. Did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals, I only figured those out as you made progress on your investigation.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of behavior signals. Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape. But in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work. All I care about is the answer.
So you were hoping Lenny's group would just do your work for you?
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told you already, the ratio of primordial seawater around the fortress of Meripede is on the rise. The Forbidden Zone has always been Lenny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled in more irksome matters.
Are the rumors true that you're also a former criminal?
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates. That's all.
Oh, right. I wanted to ask, who invited Clorette down here?
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Clorette could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving Fremine was part of that crisis?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, he probably would have found the missing Harbinger already. That's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to investigate Child's whereabouts. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance. That should be clear now that you've spoken to Fremine.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us. Isn't it about time that you answer our last question in return?
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that badly?
Yeah, Paimon really wants to know.
Even if the truth may not be pleasant? Follow me.
हमें भी देखना है वैसे विजन भी पड़ा किसी का सॉलिनोसिस
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
Just what kind of place the Fortress of Meripede is.
पक्का लिफ्ट होगी
Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa!
आई नो लिफ्ट होगी गॉड ऑफ बार भी खेला आपने बहुत
So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special. What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Hence the name Forbidden Zone. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well,
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
मेरे लाइफ पर चल रही है
so there's a switch on the side.
Stand back.
ओ भैंस की
They all
टांग
just went up one by one.
Go on, have a look. I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally, I would have ignored it. But I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Fortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
A concentration of primordial...
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising. Yes.
But forget about the two of us. Not even Neuvillette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak. Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer may be exceedingly boring. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where some of them began to repent, and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, as the number of exiles, the Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for. And with that, but as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the path. After many, now and again.
But now you know every part of that.
Indeed. It's just to be frank, now prophecies are troublesome things. Let's go somewhere. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone!
Huh?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
How about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin? Good. Saves me a bit of time explaining. Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters.
You want to blow up the Fortress of Meripede?
What a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez. Forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
साला स्पेसशिप लग रही है जेल से आए तो.
Let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
मेरे को पता था.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontainian history?
Not much at...
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila. He called his nation Lemuria.
There's a ship in...
Where there's water, there'll be ships.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. So the moment I began to...
Were you inspired by the...
maybe. Fontainians need something to hold on to. Or the workers to find out the truth. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never mix. Alright, that's enough talking for now. Seems like you're good.
एक जहाज बाहर घूम रहा है, एक जहाज अंदर है.
I'll leave you here for now.
Oh,
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it.
Great.
नहीं बताएंगे भाई, बताएंगे तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी. क्या पता फोन पे नहीं उड़ा दे.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Like this.
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Sejuin.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the two of them.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and the Sejuin is also busy with something or other. So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Mirapede.
Whoa, he's good. He got that right.
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Mirapede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Neuvillette. Risley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, He probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super smart!
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But
the sea will engulf everyone.
could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Risley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side. The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Winnie when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it. Why are you being so formal all of a sudden? Paymon's hungry.
Oh,
Alright, then we'll catch you guys. Clorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Clorand left, to make sure that Lene wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Clorand had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linney as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate and really thought everything... It's just what we do down here at the... Get a good night's rest, you two. Clorand!
It's you two.
How's dinner?
It's alright. Miss Sijwin really put in a lot of effort.
So we heard that Risley invited you to come down to help, and you saved Fremine too. You sure work super fast.
Oh, it was child's play.
Still, Paimon didn't know even champion duelists could take on side jobs. Oh, and why aren't you eating with Sijwin and the Duke? Won't you get bored eating by yourself?
Miss Sijwin was with you, and the Duke has business of his own.
Actually, didn't Navia say that you went out for dinner with her as well?
Yeah. First time in a long time.
First time in a long time? So you mean you've gone out to dinner with her in the past?
In the past, yes. You seem to be enjoying yourselves here. Things will be getting messy at the fortress soon. Don't run around unnecessarily.
Okay, super then. जल्दी सो गया
delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
क्या हो गया भाई साहब धमाका हो गया क्या
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, what's wrong with these people? They were...
They're here! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
We still in Laveroon. Do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong. Just Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get us far...
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Oh, wait, what? What? Hey, where...
We have to go by the Duke. You two just go and get out. Go on without us.
Hey! Be careful!
evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
जहरीला हो गया कुछ एकदम.
They're here.
Just like I said. You're just in time. But be ready to run.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Neuvillette, why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina, and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her. Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
चलो डॉगी हमारे साथ.
people over there. The knave is... Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Though I'm sure he's already explained.
So you two were the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course. How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Already ये खा गए थे.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I. I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Neuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Neuvillette. Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Diplomacy next level चल रही है इधर तो.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the fortress of Mirabede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
The fortress of Mirabede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely? That is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long... Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Who knows?
Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. The tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe.
सील कर दिया जो भाई साहब अकेले ने.
The sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
It wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
It was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Pneumonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house, Miss Farina. As the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I...
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontainian. You know the prophecy by heart, and yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Heart have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you... It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time.
Even if you look down upon me, Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now,
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where...
My machinations are just like the
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as... Oh, that look in your eye.
The emergency...
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose, and what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon?
ये तो कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो रहा है.
I almost forgot. Udex Neuvillette is not
क्या भाई मैं सुधीर पबजी वाला हूँ भाई साहब क्रिएशन भाई साहब.
You must have ordered him
अब
away
भी
to
देखा
take
चेक
care
थोड़ा
of
स्टोरी
some
में खो गए थे.
troublesome business.
मस्त स्टोरी है.
Yes, that's exactly right.
पबजी वाला काफी दिन बाद हुई.
Of course I will.
और
Although,
बताओ
I
कैसे.
must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer.
बड़ी जल्दी कर 2 घंटे 15 मिनट खा लिया.
If it's on my...
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake... it is getting late. Why don't...
Very well.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Paimon's coming too!
The tea party to...
चेस्ट वगैरह कुछ है क्या?
Water jet! Water jet!
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude. Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Neuvillette. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still...
They've all been working very hard
started.
You mean Ruthless. He's a tricky one to deal with. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meropide.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh, come over here, you little critter, you.
क्या भाई साहब पहले ही आ चुकी थी
You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? What are you trying to do? Please, don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Fosalor.
अरे तू तो वाले कर्मा बोल रहे हैं हैदराबाद एड्रेस वालों
Not long after, my informants confirmed what I
ये
had
भी
guessed.
सही है भाई साहब
After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Udet's Neuvillette is actually the genuine Archon.
हमने क्या धोखे में आर्कॉन निकाल लिया ड्रैगन के धोखे में भाई साहब बताओ चीटिंग करके सेमीफाइनल में घुसे और बोल रहे भाई को क्या ही बोले
Might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
साला मेरा नहीं दिखा रहे बे हाइस्ट का
My dear children, please speak.
News from the Fortress of Meropide. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Ruthless.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a harbinger is
पता
much
नहीं
higher
दुनिया
than
में
most
से ज़्यादा
imagine.
लगता ही नहीं है
We now have an excuse to exert
दिक्कत
diplomatic
ही होगी
pressure
रिसर्च
on the
करना
Fontaine
पड़ेगा
authorities.
तू तो वाले तेज चल रहे बोले तुम कहाँ मर गए थे
Set
पहले
up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Udet's Neuvillette.
और मैं बोलूँगा खाता हुआ तो मैं BGMI की स्ट्रीम करूँ खाना खा के वैसे टाइम है 10 बजे तक स्टार्ट करता हूँ
Yes, Father. Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan. The initiative belongs.
ड्रैगन लगता हमने आर्कॉन ही कर लिया है पहले चलो कोई नहीं अच्छा है वैसे भी अब कार्टून ही लग रही थी स्टार्टिंग से बारिश हो रही है
You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hit.
You attacked them?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing. I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Udet's Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now That doesn't seem right to me. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Eudex Neuvillette or Farina, of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me.
सबसे पहला गॉड जिसे लड़ना ही नहीं था, दूसरा गॉड जिसे फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता क्या हो रहा है, तीसरा गॉड दिखते ही जान से मार दे, चौथी गॉड खुद को जान के लाले पड़े थे, पांचवे गॉड का पता नहीं है
Intriguing. A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. Ultimately, though, you don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want to...
Neuvillette?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I am concerned that sooner or later... Thank you for protecting Farina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate. So as expected, the Knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out. Permission granted.
You're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay.
If by the phrase "you guys" you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us.
Huh? Why is it...
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Farina? My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this
Right, of course. We'll definitely There's still...
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much
Jongli सब कुछ जानता है. Jongli हो गया, फिर अपना कौन? Venti. Raiden का फिर भी काम है.
I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
नाहिदा की memory wipe होती है.
So even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Archon कुछ खत्म हो गया था. एक और विश मिल गई. चलो. Act 4 बचा हुआ है अभी. जेल में वापस जाना पड़ेगा। ये वाला अपन बाद में करते हैं। बैटरी कितनी बची है? 17%।
It's over.
There is no escape!
Committed to memory. Yeah.
चलो अभी करते हैं बंद, बाद में आते हैं अपन।